The average tax refund in 2026 is $3,275 according to the IRS, up 11% from last year. That is real money. That is a number that can genuinely change your financial situation if you do the right thing with it. And here is the part that nobody talks about when they congratulate you on your refund. Research shows that most tax refunds are completely spent within 72 hours of hitting the bank account. Not 72 days, 72 hours, 3 days, the same money that could have eliminated a credit card balance, funded 3 months of an emergency fund, or started a retirement account that compounds for 30 years. Gets absorbed into spending so fast that most people cannot even name what they spend it on 2 weeks later. You got a little raise from the government this year, a bonus check for roughly the cost of a decent used laptop, a month of rent in a mid-sized city, or the first real step toward financial stability you have been putting off for 2 years. And if history is any guide, by the time you read this, the money will already be gone. This video is for the person who wants to be the exception to that statistic. The person who gets $3,000 from the IRS and makes a decision about it that their future self is still benefiting from 30 years from now. My name is Sig and I spend way too much time thinking about money. The specific moments where regular people have an opportunity to make a decision that changes their financial trajectory, and why so many of those moments pass without action. A tax refund is one of those moments, a lump sum arriving in your account when you are not expecting it, from a source that requires nothing from you in return, with zero monthly obligation attached to it. It is a genuinely rare financial event for most people, and the decision you make about it in the first 48 hours matters more than almost any financial decision you will make for the rest of the year. Subscribe to this channel if you want to make that decision clearly, and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you do something real with that check. Before we talk about what to do with your refund, I want to say something that most people have never heard clearly, and that changes how you think about this money. A tax refund is not a gift from the government. It is not a bonus. It is not found money. It is your own money that you overpaid to the IRS throughout the year and are now getting back 12 months later, with zero interest. The government held your money for up to a year and paid you nothing for it. If you had invested that money instead of overpaying your withholding, the average refund of $3,275 invested at 8% for 1 year would have earned approximately $262 in returns. That is $262 you paid the government to hold your money for you. None of this means you should feel bad about getting a refund. Most people do not have the ability or the financial stability to perfectly calibrate their withholding, and getting a refund is better than owing money at tax time, which carries its own stress and potential penalties. But understanding that your refund is your own money coming back to you, not new money appearing from nowhere, matters for how you think about using it. It deserves to be treated with the same intentionality you would apply to any other significant financial decision, not spent in 3 days on things you cannot name a week later. Let me be direct about this first move, because it is the one where I am not going to offer multiple perspectives or tell you it depends on your situation. If you are carrying credit card debt at 18% or higher, the smartest thing you can do with your tax refund in 2026 is pay it down immediately, before you do anything else on this list. Here is why this is not a choice, but a mathematical imperative. Every dollar on a credit card at 22% interest is costing you 22 cents per year. If your refund is $3,000 and you put it in a high-yield savings account earning 4.5%, you earn $135 in interest over the year. If you pay $3,000 off a credit card at 22%, you save $660 in interest over the year. Same $3,000, completely different outcome. The savings account move nets you $135. The debt payoff move saves you $660. The difference is $525 produced by the exact same decision to do something useful with the money instead of spending it. According to the CNBC and SurveyMonkey Quarterly Money Survey released in April 2026, 23% of filers plan to use their refund to pay down credit card debt. That means 77% of people with credit card debt are doing the mathematically correct thing with one of the best opportunities they have all year to reduce it. If you have credit card debt, your refund has a job and the job is not discretionary. If your high interest debt situation is either handled or non-existent, the next highest impact use of a tax refund is building or completing an emergency fund. Not because emergencies are coming, though they always are, but because of what the presence or absence of an emergency fund does to every other financial decision you make. The Federal Reserve found that 37% of Americans could not cover a $400 emergency with cash. If you are in that group, $3,000 in an emergency fund does not just give you money for emergencies. It changes your operating system. It moves you from financial survival mode, where every unexpected expense triggers genuine crisis, to financial stability mode, where unexpected expenses become inconveniences. As we talked about in our savings milestone videos, even $2,000 in emergency savings increases your measured financial well-being by 21% according to Vanguard research. That is the single largest boost linked to any financial factor they studied. Your tax refund is enough to move you from zero to a partial emergency fund, or from a partial emergency fund to a complete one. In 2026, the best place for emergency savings is a high-yield savings account. Current rates are sitting between 4 and 5% at many online banks, which means your $3,000 emergency fund earns somewhere between $120 and $150 per year just for existing. Not exciting, genuinely useful. Here is a move that a surprisingly small number of tax refund recipients think about, and that has one of the highest long-term returns of anything on this list. Contributing your refund to a Roth IRA for the previous tax year. The IRS allows you to make IRA contributions for a prior tax year all the way up to the tax filing deadline, which for most people is April 15th. Which means if you are reading this before mid-April and you have not matched your Roth IRA contribution for last year, your tax refund can go directly into that account and count against last year's contribution limit. Here is why this matters. The 2026 Roth IRA contribution limit is $7,000. If your refund is $3,275 and you put it into a Roth IRA today and invest it in a total market index fund, here is what that money becomes. At 30 years old, investing $3,275 at 8% annually for 35 years until age 65 produces approximately $48,140, tax-free. Every dollar of growth in a Roth IRA comes out completely tax-free in retirement. The $3,275 refund that went on a new TV and some weekend plans produces $0 in 35 years. The same refund invested in a Roth IRA produces $48,000 in tax-free retirement wealth. That is the specific, calculable cost of spending your refund versus investing it. It is not a small difference dressed up in dramatic language. It is a $48,000 difference in retirement wealth from one single decision made in one single tax season. Here is where I want to pause, because I know some people watching this are carrying a specific kind of financial stress that makes every conversation about what to do with extra money feel complicated. If you have been behind on rent or utilities, if you have borrowed money from family, if there is an obligation in your life that has been sitting there creating low-level anxiety for months, there is nothing wrong with using your refund to address that. Bringing an account current, repaying a family loan, clearing a debt that has been damaging a relationship. These are not financially irresponsible uses of a refund. They are legitimate priorities that affect your financial well-being in ways that a spreadsheet will not capture. The point of this video is not to tell you that every dollar of your refund must go toward the mathematically optimal choice. The point is to help you make a conscious decision rather than a default one. The default is 72 hours and the money is gone with nothing to show for it. A conscious decision, even if it is not the mathematically optimal one, is still infinitely better than the default. For the millions of Americans carrying federal student loan debt. A tax refund creates a specific opportunity that is worth understanding before you decide where the money goes. Extra principal payments on student loans reduce your balance and the interest that accrues on that balance going forward. But the impact of an extra payment depends entirely on your loan's interest rate and your repayment plan. If you are on a standard repayment plan and your federal loan interest rate is 6% or higher, an extra payment directly to principal has a guaranteed 6% return, which is better than most savings account rates and competitive with conservative investment returns. If you are on an income-driven repayment plan with a forgiveness endpoint in the next 10 to 15 years, extra principal payments may be less valuable because any balance forgiven at the end of the repayment period means extra payments you made earlier did not produce a proportional benefit. Before making an extra student loan payment with your refund, understand your specific repayment plan, your interest rate, and your realistic forgiveness timeline. Then make the decision with that information rather than with a general feeling that paying debt is always good. For some borrowers, it absolutely is. For others, the math says the money is better deployed elsewhere first. Here is something specific to 2026 that most people have never thought about in the context of a tax refund, and that can be genuinely powerful if your financial situation is right for it. You cannot directly contribute your tax refund to your 401k. The 401k only accepts contributions through payroll deductions, but you can use your tax refund to replace the cash in your checking account that you temporarily increase your 401k contribution rate with. Here is what that looks like in practice. You receive your $3,000 refund. You increase your 401k contribution rate by an amount that will reduce your take-home pay by approximately $3,000 over the next few pay periods. Your tax refund replaces the income you are diverting to your 401k. The net result is that your living expenses are unchanged because the refund is covering the gap while additional money is going into your retirement account pre-tax. This strategy effectively allows you to move money from a taxable event, your refund, which is not taxed but also not in a tax-advantaged account, into a pre-tax retirement account that compounds tax-deferred. For someone in the 22% federal tax bracket, contributing an additional $3,000 to a traditional 401k saves approximately $660 in federal taxes in the current year, meaning the refund not only goes to retirement, but also generates additional tax savings on top of the contribution. Here is a move that almost no mainstream financial content about tax refunds ever mentions, and that I think is worth discussing specifically in 2026. Investing in yourself, not in a vague motivational sense, in a specific, measurable, high-return sense. A certification program that adds a professional credential relevant to your current career and increases your earning potential has a return on investment that most financial assets cannot match. If a $3,000 certification program increases your annual salary by $5,000, the return on that investment in year one is 167%. No stock, no index fund, no real estate deal produces a 167% return in year one. The compounding effect of a higher salary base over the remaining years of your career, with annual raises and promotions applied to the higher number, means the lifetime return on a credential that increased your base salary is one of the highest available investments for most people at most income levels. This does not apply to all certifications or all career situations. The return depends entirely on whether the specific credential produces a specific measurable salary increase in your specific field. But if you are in a profession where a particular certification is known to increase earnings and you have been putting off getting it because of the upfront cost, your tax refund is exactly the right vehicle for that investment, because the $3,000 you spend on the credential could produce many multiples of that amount over the rest of your career. This is the most practical and least glamorous piece of advice in this entire video, and it might be the most important one. The single biggest risk to your tax refund is not making the wrong decision about it. It is making no decision about it in time. Every day your refund sits in your checking account as unallocated money, it is at risk of being absorbed by normal spending. Not dramatically, not in a single big purchase that you will notice and remember. Gradually, a dinner that was a little nicer than usual, a thing you bought online because you had the app open, a weekend expense that felt fine because the balance looked comfortable. The gradual absorption of a lump sum into normal spending patterns over 2 to 3 weeks is exactly how most refunds disappear without the person ever making a conscious decision about it. The rule is simple. Within 48 hours of your refund arriving, move it. Move it to wherever you have decided it should go. If it is going toward credit card debt, pay the card. If it is going to your emergency fund, transfer it to your high-yield savings account immediately. If it is going into a Roth IRA, make the contribution that day. If part of it is going to multiple places, split it immediately. The 48-hour window is not arbitrary. It is based on how long unallocated money can sit in a checking account before the spending pressure of normal life starts redirecting it somewhere you did not intend. Do not let the decision drift. Make it now. Let me be direct about the uses of a tax refund that I see most often and that produce the least durable financial benefit because I think naming them matters. The vacation is the most common one. And look, I am not saying experiences have no value. They absolutely do. But a vacation financed by a tax refund that comes at the expense of credit card debt that is compounding at 22% or an emergency fund that does not exist, the vacation you are paying for 3 times. Once with the refund, once in interest on the debt that did not get paid, and once in the financial stress of the next unexpected expense that the emergency fund was not there to cover. The furniture and home upgrade is the second most common. Same logic, a new couch or a television or kitchen appliances are not investments, they are consumption. Enjoyable, worthwhile consumption in the right context, but consumption that produces zero future financial return. The extended version of this is the shopping spree, the technology upgrade, the wardrobe refresh. All of these things have their place in a financially stable life. A tax refund is not the moment for them if you have debt, no emergency fund, or inadequate retirement savings. The refund comes once a year. The compound interest runs every day. The sequence of priorities should reflect that reality. Here is the reframe I want you to carry out of this video. $3,275 looks like a number. A nice number, a useful number, but ultimately a number that is gone in one vacation or one shopping weekend without changing anything meaningful about your financial life. But $3,275 directed correctly does not look like a number. It looks like the end of a credit card balance that has been creating monthly stress for 2 years. It looks like an emergency fund that finally exists and that changes how your body responds to unexpected expenses. It looks like $48,000 in tax-free retirement wealth 35 years from now. It looks like the beginning of something that compounds forward instead of a memory of something pleasant that already happened. The government gave you back your own money this year with an 11% raise on top of last year's amount. What you do with it in the next 48 hours is one of the most consequential small decisions you will make all year. Not because $3,000 is life-changing money by itself, but because the habit of treating it like it matters, of making a conscious decision about it instead of letting it disappear, is the exact financial behavior that separates the people who quietly build real wealth from the people who earn decent incomes and never understand where it went.